Redshift solves the repeating texture problem for good. Unreal Engine 5.8 lands in preview with a list of quality of life fixes, and we just launched our first C4D plugin. Did you know it's free? It's Motion Mondays. Let's get into it. After Effects has had FX Console for years, and Premiere editors have been left having to do it the slow way. If you've ever used FX Console in After Effects, you already know what this is. But for everyone else, it's a command palette. You basically hit Alt-Space, type what you're looking for, and the effect applies instantly. It works for effects, transitions, and audio effects, so you're not digging through panels anymore. The fuzzy search is perfect for people who don't know how to spell well, like me. You can type in GSBLR and it still finds Gaussian blur. A free trial is available over at aescripts.com, so if you do any editing alongside your motion work, it's definitely worth grabbing. Say goodbye to visibly repeating textures in Redshift. If you've ever tiled a terrain texture, a brick wall, or any kind of surface imperfection across a mesh, you know the problem. The pattern repeats, the seams obviously show, and no amount of scale adjustment fully hides it. Redshift 26.6 adds hex tiling and it fixes all of that. So instead of tiling on a standard square grid, hex tiling breaks your texture into hexagonal tiles with randomized position, rotation, and scale, and then blends them together seamlessly. The result is a much more natural and varied surface. It works especially well for organic textures like terrain, scratches, roughness maps, anything where you want variation without an obvious pattern. Now, how have we been living our lives without this for so long? Now onto some School of Motion news. We're at 4,350 students and climbing. And if you use Cinema 4D, today's actually a pretty good day for you. Our first C4D plugin, Node Ninja, just launched. It's free and you can grab it right now at schoolofmotion.com/node-ninja. And here's what it does. With a single click, you can import texture map sets and have all your nodes already connected. You've got your UV context projection node, open PBR material, ambient occlusion already linked up, all of it wired up automatically. There's also Node Surgeon built in, which lets you switch projection modes on existing materials and upgrade legacy setups without starting over. It works with older versions of Cinema 4D too, so you don't need to be on the latest and greatest to use it. Does a whole lot more. Check out all it can do on the site. Link will be in the description. And now a few other things happening at School of Motion this month. The Motion Design Hiring Guide is live on the site, and our May portfolio review is coming up May 28th at 2 p.m. Eastern. 2 new courses are also in the pipeline. We got Unreal Engine for broadcast designers and product visualization in Blender, so keep out an eye for those. If you haven't entered the Oddly Satisfying Render Challenge yet, you've got about a week left. The challenge is to create a 5 to 20 second mesmerizing render using Cinema 4D and Redshift. First prize is a Dell Pro Max 18 laptop plus a year of Max on 1 and School of Motion All Access. Second and third place get free subscriptions as well. Submissions close May 25th, and all the details are at oddlysatisfyingchallenge.com. Link will be in the description. Unreal 5.8 just dropped in preview mode, and beyond the big headline features, there's a long list of quality of life fixes. The gizmo got redesigned, it's thinner now, and it shows live transformation units while you're moving things, so you can actually see distance, degrees, and scale in real time. The rotation gizmo has a new camera-facing sphere for screen space rotation. Keybinding editing finally has its own dedicated window under the edit menu instead of being buried in the editor preferences, and the material editor has a shader ball preview so you can test materials on specific mesh shapes. On the bigger features side, there's Mesh Terrain, which has a new 3D mesh-based terrain system that integrates natively with PCG, plus procedural vegetation tools. Both are still experimental in this preview, but they look promising. It's a preview release, so nothing's final, but plenty to dig into here. Unreal Engine's built-in content browser gets the job done, but it's also kind of a mess, and Polygon Flow just made their fix for it permanently free. The searches loads better than what Unreal Engine ships with. It supports fuzzy search, Boolean search, and semantic search, plus asset tagging so you can actually find what you're looking for in a large project. And it also hooks directly into Quixel Megascans, Ambient CG, Polyhaven, and the IES library out of the box. It also bundles a solid collection of PBR assets from partner libraries. So if you're building out an Unreal Engine scene and want fast access to good textures and assets without leaving the editor, this is going to give you a much smoother experience. Now, one thing to be clear about, this is just the asset manager. The full Dash world building suite is still a paid product, but Polygon Flow carved out this piece as a permanently free standalone tool. And for motion designers working in Unreal, you should grab it because it's free. Previewing Mogerts just got a lot easier, and you don't even need After Effects open to do it. Motion Lens is a free macOS utility from Captioneer that plugs into macOS Quick Look. You navigate to a Mogert in Finder, press the spacebar, and you get an instant preview. You got thumbnail, font info, dimensions, and host app compatibility. No Adobe app needs to be running to do that. There's also a one-click extraction tool that unpacks the Mogert archive directly for editing, which anyone who's tried manually digging into one of those nested zip files will appreciate. And if you ever needed to hand off a template to a client or editor and wanted to confirm what's in those files without having to fire up Premiere or After Effects, this is going to be the tool for that. So the app requires macOS 14 Sonoma or later and supports both Intel and Apple Silicon. Windows support is listed as coming soon. Link to check it out will be in the description. Now on to some awesome work from around the interwebs that caught our eye this week. First up is Singularity, the new short film from Blender Studio, and it's a big one. 4K HDR big. And if you have a decent screen, probably gonna wanna watch it on the biggest one that you have. So the story follows this cute little tiny creature whose home is being destroyed by a black hole that in classic Blender fashion just so happens to look like the default cube. So he joins a group of luminous beings in search of salvation. The art style is watercolor inspired. The handcrafted textures and brushstrokes mixed with procedural work look great. They got crowd simulations built entirely in geometry nodes, and the production assets are free under Creative Commons license. So if you want to dig into how they made it, everything's right there. All right, this next cool piece is from Good Secrets, and it's for the US against the World Series on HBO. And I really love the intentional handmade feel all throughout, the grunge textures, got that spray paint, the cutout player silhouettes, and that rough, almost like street art energy really sells the intensity of the sport. Feels raw and visceral in the best way. Awesome work. And finally, Mario Sundays created the title sequence for the 2026 Atlas Festival, an art and tech event in Lisbon. Built in Houdini and Redshift with creative direction from Afonso Amaro. The piece is all about blocking out the noise. We've got social media, AI, all this stuff. It's all about blocking that out and keeping creativity flowing. I recommend you watch it with the audio and the voiceover. It'll hit differently.
And maybe the answers are not in the world out there, but in how we choose to exist within.
Links to everything we just covered will be in the description. Stippling in Illustrator just got a lot easier, and the results actually look hand-drawn. So Stipple Buddy is a new vector brush pack from True Grit Texture Supply with 34 stipple brushes sampled from real handmade patterns. So they have the actual irregularity of physical stippling rather than the too perfect quality of something generated. There's also 4 liner brushes that stay consistent along any path without stretching or compression, plus half brushes that cut down on masking time. So everything works straight out of the box with the pen, brush, or pencil tool, and there's a tutorial video to get you started. You can find it at truegrittexturesupply.com. Link will be in the description. Now, if you missed OFFF Barcelona like I always do, major FOMO vibes, Side Effects just posted the full Houdini Hive session playlist to YouTube. And the range of what people are doing with Houdini goes well beyond motion graphics. You got Intagma's Moritz Schwind, Paul Estevez, and Found Studio, covering things like Copernicus and Vellum for motion graphics, procedural digital fabrication, drone show, choreography, and VFX breakdowns. Now, the whole playlist is a great reminder of how far outside animation and VFX the tools we use can actually reach. So you can find the full playlist link in the description. Now on to our student of the week, Isidora Ramirez, who is a freelance motion designer in Chile who came to Design Bootcamp already knowing motion but wanting to actually understand design. So Isadora took 3 school of motion design courses all through All Access and then did the IBM Smart City project that's in Design Bootcamp. In Isadora's words, design in Illustrator had always been daunting things, even someone already working in motion. 3 courses later, they said it felt like cracking a code that was unknown to them before. Isadora specifically called out the extra content, the podcast, and especially the teaching assistants. The courses wouldn't feel the same without someone cheering me up from the sidelines. That's so awesome to hear, and it's what makes our content, our curriculum, different from everything else out there. Amazing work, Isadora. You can go find all their work on Instagram at @let and go and give them some love. Most AI image to 3D tools look great from the front and then fall apart everywhere else. Pixel 3D from Tencent Arc Labs, though, is trying to actually solve that, and the results in the demos are pretty crazy and noticeably cleaner than anything else that I've seen from tools like Trellis or HY3D. So the short version of why it works better is that it stays true to what the original image actually shows instead of translating everything into a generic 3D interpretation first. So the surfaces you see reconstruct really accurately, and for the parts the image doesn't show, the back, the underside, it makes smart, natural looking guesses instead of obvious ones. Oh, and it's super fast, like crazy fast. It actually got accepted to SIGGRAPH 2026. It's open source, and the code, a Hugging Face demo, and GLB exports are all available right now. You can find a link to all that in the description. And that's it for Motion Mondays this week. All the links from today's episode will be in the description. And be sure to check out our brand new C4D plugin, Node Ninja. It's free. Let us know what you think. I'd also like to know, what plugins would you like to see us make next? Something for After Effects, more C4D stuff? Let us know in the comments. Have a great week, and I'll see you next time.